Good morning and welcome to Today in LA. My name's Mike Amos, hoping that you're doing well this morning on a Monday as we head down the stretch toward college football. In fact, looking at my map this morning and my calendar this morning, we're looking at July the 9th, and most all colleges, or especially coaching staffs, are starting to come back together to get ready for the football season. And, of course, the players, most of them have to about a week or so, and they'll be getting out of summer school. They'll go home for that little short break. Then they'll come back on August 1st, and they'll be ready to go for college football 2018. And, of course, the stadium at Veterans Memorial Stadium is ready or getting ready. It looks like it's getting its final touches, and it is beautiful. The end zone facility that will house also coaches' offices, and it will house weight facilities and team lockers and recruit areas, and it's just going to be an outstanding addition. Not only to, and of course that giant scoreboard, it's not only going to be a attraction for our Troy University athletic program and football program especially, but it will be an attraction for our town. Our town will reap benefits. It'll have one of the largest scoreboards in college sports. I got a flyer that just won't leave me alone this morning. Steve Kemp is at the throttle, and we're looking for Hoss Daddy. Hoss Daddy is supposed to appear today, representing Sanders Truck Lines of Troy, Alabama. If it don't say Sanders on your truck, driver, believe you me, you don't want it when it comes to not only a great place to work, but great people that you deal with, and of course, a future in the trucking industry is at Sanders Truck Lines of Troy, Alabama. And of course, right now, if you go to work with Sanders and you have a certificate to drive a 18-wheeler, ladies and gentlemen, you are going to get a $1,000 cash bonus to go to work for Sanders Truck Lines in Troy, Alabama. And you go everywhere. I was up in the mountains of Tennessee. Oh, Rocky Top, you'll always be home sweet home to me. Good old Rocky Top, Tennessee. Now that latter part needs to come out of your nose. And of course, I was at Rocky Top, Tennessee this past week, and saw a lot of Sanders trucks on the road this week, and awfully proud. Not only is it a great truck line, it carries itself with distinction because you'll never see a dirty Sanders truck. Hoss Daddy is in the house. Ladies and gentlemen, from Troy, Alabama. They call him Hoss Daddy. He's alias. Good to call in here, man.
Good morning,
Good
man.
to see you.
How you doing?
Ladies and gentlemen, he had
Man,
entered the
I
building.
seeing
They say Elvis has entered the building. The Hoss Daddy has entered the building. Jeffrey Bennett, alias Jeffrey Bennett. Is that
How
right?
you doing? Where you been?
Your birth certificate says Hoss Daddy, though.
No, it's Jeffrey Bennett.
Good,
How
good.
you doing, man?
Doing great, man. Always good to see you.
It's
And
good to
I
see
tell you
you.
what, gosh, every time I pass your business over there on Montgomery Street, you're packed with automobiles. Evidently, you're doing a good job.
Oh, we're trying to do a good job, Mike.
You're on Today in L.A. How you doing?
Hey, morning.
Mike
Good
Amos
morning.
calling in from Birmingham today. Mike, we've got the Horse Daddy, alias Jeffrey Bennett.
Horse Daddy or Hoss Daddy?
Horse Daddy. I call him Horse.
Mike, how you doing, man?
Oh, man, I'm pretty good. Just trying to get back to normal. The fourth week had a lot going on. Just people taking off and stuff like that. So it looks like everybody will be back and ready to go this week.
I met some of your classmates.
Some of my classmates.
Yeah, I really did. I was talking about me and your dad do this show, and they was telling me that they knew you and your sister, and I was like, wow, this is a small world when you just get to talking to me.
You reckon it was John Reed? You reckon it was...
No, it was Matt Jordan.
Okay, yeah, well, we know, Matt.
Yeah, it was Matt Jordan.
Where they aiming?
I happened to date his sister, and she was telling me and Matt was talking about you. Matt works with us, and
Yeah.
I just tell him how nice she was, and they was asking me, did we have call in, and I told them that you call in.
Well, let me tell you, Mike, I'm trying to look like a different college football team every week, and I look like the University of with this color. Miami Hurricanes. Mike,
Why would you do that?
I don't know. Boy, it's ugly, isn't it?
I mean, you got the Trojans
I
right
got
here.
orange. I got orange and green on today, and of course this set doesn't do real well with green. You told me about that. You know, Hoss Getty is ready to go. In fact, Hoss, I believe you can play tight end for any in America right
but
now.
I tell you what,
Let me see your hand, Hoss. Right here now. God, it's about twice as big as my hand.
I'm gonna tell you what we got, Mike. I got a chance. You've been gone. I haven't had a chance to talk to you, but I got a chance to go to some schools, and I've been fired up ever since. Let me tell you what they're doing to you at these schools. They're getting you to sign this contract for $3,000, but they tie you down for 2 years at $3,000.
Yeah.
You stuck right there.
Wait a minute, now we're talking about
We're talking about,
school.
when you want to go and learn to drive a truck. There's a lot of people out there not working.
Sure.
And don't have no money, and they say, well, heck, I'm going to drive a truck. They listen at me and you, and they think, well, I can do that. And they go to the school, but they don't do like we tell them. They don't call the station, or they don't call Sanders Truck Line. And they call one of these guys and say, yeah, we can help you. But promise you, when you sign that contract for 2 years, you're stuck there for 2 years. Not only are you stuck there, if you decide to leave, they won't verify you. Verify means I can't hire you unless I call another company and verify that you who you say you are and you can do. Man, don't sign. That was the last commercial.
Right.
Don't sign the contract. Come see me. I don't want you on the contract, but I can help you get the system.
Now, now, do you require your guys to go back to school? But if they've gone to school and they've got the certificate to drive a truck, they can come right on. Is that right?
They can come right on. If you've been to a school and I have this every day. As a matter of fact, I got one on my work this morning. I got to get out of here. But if you say went to the school, you went and drove somewhere for a couple of weeks, and you say, you know what, I don't like this, and you got out. You got out of the training program. Now you decided, you know what, maybe that was for me. I'll take you back. As long as you got that certificate, this is within 2 years. This is what else I'll do. I'll pay, because sometimes they borrow the money. I'll pay up to $150 of that schooling.
Of the school,
Every month until it exceeds $3,500. Trust me, ladies and gentlemen, if you went to a school and they charge you over $3,500, they rip you off.
And let me tell you, a certificate is that is a great opportunity to go work for a good company.
Good company. Let me tell you
how long does school usually last?
6 to 8 weeks. Let me tell you this.
And the closest one's what, Montgomery or Dover?
Montgomery, and we really love that school in Montgomery. When I say we really love it, it just does the things that we like. They train the stuff we like. And, with some schools we don't accept. But if you get in contact with me, I'll tell you the ones with these 2-week schools. They got some schools now out there 2 weeks.
Oh, man.
I'm not gonna hire you if you go to that school.
Well,
I'm just gonna be honest with you. I'm not gonna hire you if you go to that
one
school.
thing. Now, let me tell you this. Not only is this a certificate that gives that you're able and qualified to drive a Wiley Sanders truck, but when he gets in that truck, he's sitting down behind a steering wheel that a vehicle's worth what? 600, maybe 6 figures. Is that right, Lee?
And not only that, top of the line equipment.
Yeah.
Now, this is our new thing we got.
Yeah.
You've been gone. I've been needing to see you. I've been needing to see you, man. We got all this stuff going. We got what they call a per diem plan. Now, let me tell you what this is. For years, drivers have tried to say their receipts and file it on their taxes.
Sure.
Okay, federal government comes in and say, hey, we're not taking this. IRS comes in and says, we're not taking this no more. It's too much trouble.
Yeah.
The only way we're going to take this is you have a provider.
Yeah.
A company that deals with this and takes it. Well, you know what we did? We went out and got a provider that handles that for you. You don't keep up with the receipts.
Yeah.
If you make $100, 63 of it can be claimed by this per diem point.
Sure.
Already goes into your E-log, what they call it E-log.
Yeah.
Biggest thing you got to do, and we think it's going to help people leave a little early. Leave before noon of that day. Return after noon, however you've been gone. And that satellite will automatically punch it in. This provider that we have will keep up with it. You ain't got to do it no more. I've been telling you can make $100,000 a year.
Yeah.
This makes it a lot easier.
Isn't that amazing? And of course, what we're talking about is how they keep up with your time.
How to keep up with your time, and it tells right then and there when you was out of town, what days you was out of town. You ain't got to do it. I don't know about you, but I don't keep very good paperwork.
Well, let me just say this. You know, if I was going to play for a team, I'd want that team to be well dressed. Well, that team is well dressed. One of the nicest vehicles known to man in the 18-wheelers out there. You look at them on the road, a Sanders truck looks like it's ready to play.
It's ready to
You
go.
know, with red jerseys and white numerals and a little black striping in there. But it looks like it's ready to go. And of course, the finest equipment. Now, a lot of these guys they're training on standard shifts, but you've also got
that automatic.
The automatic.
That's what me and you was sitting in that
exactly.
day.
I might have a chance to drive an automatic.
What about that, Mike? You believe that?
I don't know. I think your days of driving 18-wheeler might be over.
Well, let me just say this too, though. The automatic transmission, though, is making the job much easier for a young man to go to school and start driving a truck.
You know, I talked to Terry this morning on the way out here, and I called him. I was picking at him because I saw
T-Mac.
I saw Miss Vicky rolling out the trash,
Yeah,
and
she
I
owns
called
this
him.
place here.
I called him and jumped all over. I said, "Hey, you ought to be doing that." He said, "I can do it." And one of the questions I really wanted to ask him is, and I feel this way. Terry told me he was going to tune in. So Terry, I want you to call me because we got some questions we want to ask you about this automatic transmission. I feel like in 5 to 6 years, that's all it's going to be.
It'll be all automatic.
I just feel like that. That's just my theory of stepping out saying that.
Very rarely can you go to an automobile dealership and find a 5-speed drive vehicle.
Kind of fade it out. And
right.
I think that's what the trucking industry going to go to. Let me tell you, these things, Mr. Wiley's the best. And when they first come out, he went and tried one out, and he did everything he could to try to trick it. When I say try to trick it, the thing automatically downshifts and governs back. And
But what are they, 7 speeds or 10 speeds, 9 speeds?
I don't know. I'm not going to say that. Yeah. I don't know what that automatic
But
is.
you know, I tell you what, having to worry with that clutch, and especially when you're parked on a hill, well, that's not a whole lot of fun.
That's not hard. You know, years ago, I was telling somebody this the other day. Mr. Wiley used to carry you down 231, let you turn right and go up that hill and turn and go on 29.
Oh yeah, up that hill.
That was his test when he used to actually rotate.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. When you come off that clutch on that hill with 45,000 pounds and you get it on 29, you've done your job.
Yeah. Mike, you're a good testimony. You got a testimony there. You went out west on a truck one time that you hadn't been driving.
I was out in the mountains of Oregon and Washington State driving a Bonnie plant farm box truck. It was a stick, and I was 26 years old and never driven a stick in my life, and I was scared to death when I was out there going through some of those mountain passes, and especially when I was just in traffic, like in Portland and Seattle. So, I mean, just experiencing that, you know, my truck.
But you know, you worry about on a hill it rolling back. Once rolling back, but the big trucks probably don't roll back like a car might do.
Mike, did you have some experience of going down some steep hills? I'm sure you was where you told me you was at.
No, not really. I mean, I really kind of learned as I drove out there. We drove the truck out there.
I'm saying, how did you like going off them big hills? That's what I'm talking about.
I hated it.
Yeah.
It scared me to death a few times, especially some of those mountain passes.
Yeah.
Right now on the road today, if we walked out today, 800, 900 trucks on the road right now as we speak?
Yeah, we not usually call on Mondays, but we hadn't been here, but we probably had 500 trucks that we call it bumping a dock.
Yeah.
They bumped somebody dock this morning.
I'm in Birmingham. I probably see at least 10 Wally Sanders trucks.
Yeah, we probably got 500 trucks that have unloaded.
That running unloaded already.
On a Monday morning. You know, after a holiday, it's just like Mike was telling us earlier, it takes a little while to get, you know, because we believe, and I say this with honesty, I can say this and feel good about it. We cater to getting the driver home.
Yeah.
Just because this man drives a truck, he's got a grandson or he's got a son
playing ball,
that's
whatever.
playing ball. You know how me and you
Yeah,
when it's ball season,
right.
I'm going to the ball game.
That's
Now, when
right.
Alabama
Yeah.
is playing, I'm going to watch the game. When
That's
Troy
right,
State
yeah.
is playing, I'm going to watch the game.
That's right.
And drivers have this.
Sure.
So we work it
They're
out.
human beings just like anybody else.
Just like anybody else.
They've got a life they want to live.
And I'm going to tell you something. If you got it, a truck bought it.
Yeah.
You can believe that. You can look at it however you want to look at it. If you got these shoes, these pants we got on the truck, had something to do with it at some time or another.
How many
Do
one?
y'all
How
have
many?
do y'all have any idea, like, as far as road construction? I mean, Birmingham right now, the interstates, there's so many different projects going on. I mean,
It's terrible.
slowing down traffic left and right. I mean, do y'all have, like, knowledge of this beforehand? I mean,
Let me tell you something. It's so you and your dad, both of y'all asked some great questions. We actually have people that, you know, in certain, especially in our heavy travel areas, Mike, that check on stuff like that, especially in the wintertime, where it's construction, what the weather's like. We got a guy that sits there and watches the Weather Channel. But yes, we do some of that, especially in the local areas, because we got trucks in Birmingham every day.
How does a big truck handle that type of situation? I mean, every
Patience.
time I go to Birmingham, I mean,
Patience.
I know, but especially with a standard shift clutch type thing, he's constantly having a
Oh,
clutch.
man, it's a good
And we're
time.
talking about slow. I mean, and for hours, that would just drive you crazy.
On our automatic trucks, when we first got them, what we did was they put people on them that had been working with us for years and years. And they had to just
Yeah,
beg them to
exactly,
take
yeah.
them. And this is
Yeah.
what they told them. If you don't like it, we'll hold your truck here. When you come back, you got nobody. When I tell you nobody, 100% rating.
Wanted to
Everybody
change.
just got on them automatics.
Isn't that
Ain't
amazing?
never looked back.
Man, you're exactly
talking
right.
about guys
It
been
has
driving
changed,
15.
It has changed the industry. Yeah, I mean, let me tell you.
Modern technology.
There are a lot of folks can't drive a straight stick 18-wheeler over the terrain that we have to, hills and valleys and whatever. It just makes sense that automatic transmission, just like me driving my vehicle today, it makes it so much easier, and it gives a young man or a young woman an opportunity to go and work in that industry.
In that industry, but
But it changes the whole complex of driving that vehicle, doesn't it?
But let me say this: I want to be careful. We don't want to mislead nobody. Do not go to the school and train on an automatic only.
I got you.
Don't do that. You limitate
Yeah,
yourself to where
exactly.
you. I mean, we got 750 trucks, and
Exactly.
we probably don't have but 100 automatics.
Yeah, I
so
got you.
if something does happen and you got to get on one of the trucks, you can't.
And
so
a lot
we
of
tell
people have been
everybody,
driving that standard shift all those years, and I had a 5-speed truck for years, and I loved it. I
Did
loved
you?
driving it and everything. It was a smaller truck, and I loved driving it. But let me tell you, this is a different ball game with a big truck like that.
Oh, a lot
but like you
different
said, most of these guys are veteran drivers. Have been driving it like that, so it's no big deal to them.
And I had said I was going to say this, been contemplating it in my mind all week, and I prayed about it. But I look sometime right here in my town. I don't talk about nobody else.
Sure.
I'm talking about right here in my town. I do a lot of riding, going from here to here
Sure.
to here. And I look at these young men, and I see them walking up the street. And if I see them over 3 times in that day, I know then
They don't have
this
a
is a
job.
guy that doesn't have a job. And then I go a little further, but I go to watching him, because I got a bad
Yeah.
knee, and I watch this guy, and he's real healthy, and I say, man, he could be making $100,000
That's right.
a year.
Yeah.
He can go to school.
And really seeing the country, seeing the world.
Seeing the country. You ain't doing nothing else.
Yeah, that's right. And-
Yeah,
and-
I often tell my boss sometimes, we say, well, we got to go this weekend. We got to go here. And I said, well, I ain't never left Pike County and come back and it was gone.
How many $1,000? Of course, right now, and for the last 2 or 3 months, or 4 or 5 months, we've been talking about $1,000 bonus. Have you given many of those out?
We have, man. Let me tell you. Do you know Sarge? Did you see the last commercial we did?
Yeah.
We got a deal now. I told you I'm full this morning. You ain't been here with me.
I
We
know.
got a deal where we're giving, if you're in the military and you retired from the military and say you want to come drive
Sure.
us, we not only give you 1,000, we give you 1,200. The reason we do that is we believe in supporting our local military.
Sure.
You know, that's what keeps us safe. For
Yes,
me and
sir.
you to go
Yes,
boating,
sir.
me and you to go fishing, me
But
to
one
ride
thing
my
about that
motorcycle.
military guy, you know one thing, he's disciplined.
Discipline.
And you got to
And
be
on
disciplined to drive a vehicle that is of that value on the road. And of course, this man, Mr. Sanders, didn't get where he was today or where he is today by being not conscious of people's not only their ability to take a truck and drive a truck and be a part of a winning team. You know, he didn't get that way by accident. You know,
Let me tell you
he's seen
something.
it all. He's seen the good
In
and the bad.
trucking, you basically set your salary. The government has got you to so many hours that you can log.
Yeah.
We've got the freight. Do your job. It's simple. It's not a lot of mathematics to
He
it.
ain't got to worry about
If
having
we
a
say
load.
be there at 7 o'clock, if you be there at 7 o'clock,
Yeah.
they're going to load you. They're going to load you.
All right.
I was listening. I got to tell you, it was so funny. I was in the office. I was in Frankie Sarah's office, and it was
Well,
day
Frankie's a good man.
He's a good man. It was
Yeah.
day before 4th of July. Had some guys that had unloaded. Some of these guys, I won't call their name, they didn't get there on time. But I sit there and watch Frankie just keep calling and keep moving around. Even though this guy was late, he got them something to do so they could be home for the pool. I saw that with my own eyes.
Yeah,
That's
that's
why I can come out here and say, hey, come drive for us, we're going to take care of you. Because I sit there and we was just talking, me and him both love cars, and I really went in there to ask him something about my little Mustang. And we got to talking, and that phone call came into him. And the dispatcher comes in and
sure.
says, hey, my guy was late. This place is closed.
Yeah.
Ain't many trucking companies can do this. We sent him to another place where we had drop trailers at, had a load there.
And that's
You know,
Now-
and that's
now-
just a great
yeah.
deal of working
You
for a
know,
while.
I go downtown Birmingham a lot. And, Sarris's restaurant, one of my favorite meat and threes in downtown Birmingham.
That's his family. You're right. From Birmingham, the Sayers restaurant.
Yeah.
down there.
Yeah. Do you ever eat at the fish one? At the fish
Fish market. Yeah.
fish market? You ever ate that one?
Now, oh yeah, downtown I have.
Yeah, downtown. Oh,
wonderful.
man.
Yeah, right across
Great
the street from
food.
where I go see my doctor.
Okay.
Yeah,
great.
it's right next to the Kirkland Clinic.
Yeah.
It's right there. It's
Exactly.
right there, where, like walking distance from UAB.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
eaten that several times.
Yeah.
You know, back to the responsibility. They want responsible people, and a lot of these military people are disciplined and responsible.
Oh yeah.
So if you're military out there and you're just getting out of the military, you'd like to talk to them.
I love to talk to them, especially if they got truck driving experience in the military.
Yeah.
I love to talk to them. I love to just show them what we offer and what we got. We have so many people that have retired. I had a great time going to these schools. We went to 3 different schools. Went up to Cullman, Alabama. Went up to a little old town. I can't think of the name of it. But went to these schools, and you meet some interesting people. And that's why I'm going to go back to this.
But it's
Some of the people.
Priceville. It wasn't
That's
Priceville.
what it was. How'd you
Isn't that
know?
amazing? Well,
How'd you know that? That was that little old town.
Our quarterback on our football team is from right north of Cullman, called Priceville.
Priceville, that's exactly where it was. I had never been
Located
there.
right there south of Decatur and
Yeah,
Hartsville.
yep, that's
Yeah.
where it was. But anyway, I went there, and we spoke for a little while. And I got so concerned because one of the guys followed me out the door. And he said, man, I'm not even supposed to talk to you. He said, but you're the only recruiter came down here and took up the whole 30 minutes talking to us. He said, God, I wish I could talk to you. And I asked him, I said, why you can't? I said, we want to hire you. And he told me about his contract. And I actually got a copy of it, and I read it, and I said, oh my God, they're doing these people like this. It's sort of like a Tyler Parr.
Yeah. That's right.
That's
right.
what I compared it to.
I
As
saw a show last night about that.
and I was driving home. You on the news? Me,
Yeah.
the same thing. Last I was sitting there watching
Yeah,
that.
that old guy looks. That guy hadn't always looked like that. That guy with that white hair. Let me tell you, he's actually a friend of mine, Chip. Nick.
Really?
But he was talking about that. You're exactly right. If you don't watch it, you can really get caught in that.
Get caught in that, and that's what these guys are getting caught in. And then I can't talk to them, and there you are. And this is my illustration I gave to a guy. If you've been working if a guy, I use A and B. If guy A been working at a company for 10 years, and they got a load going, it's December, and they got a load going to Chicago, and they got one going to Miami. Guy B is under this contract. Guy A decides, I just don't want to go to Chicago today. I'm going to take that Miami. Who you think gets to go up to Chicago? Guy B does.
Yeah.
Guy B
right.
does. And, when you're on a contract, it's just differently. You got, with us, we won't take no contract, but we'll pay your schooling.
Yeah, it's really unreal. Another thing too. If I'm in California and I'm waiting on a load, and I haven't been paid yet, I look on my computer. Wherever they are, they're going to get paid on the spot. Is that right?
Well, that is something that I love to brag about and say. Wallace Sanders is the only job I ever had, and I've got paid every Friday. I'm 57 years old, ladies and
Exactly.
gentlemen.
Whether you're
I've
in Troy,
got
Alabama,
paid
or Los Angeles,
every
California,
Friday.
that you're gonna get paid.
I tell them sometime in the gym, I go in there on Friday, they say, "What's wrong with you, Hoss?" I say, "Oh, my back hurting. It hit in there last night, kind of bumped a little hard, but I'll be all right."
Yeah, but now, and of course, that check goes into his account. Is
That's
that
correct.
right?
That's
so
correct.
he's ready to.
It's called direct deposit.
I was saying, we know what it's
But
called.
you know what? Some people don't do that. And of course, that's another thing that's very important. And of course, Sanders truck
How does
lines
a
in Troy, Alabama.
team drivers work? If you had like a husband or wife or the team drivers that go out west, how many hours straight can they drive?
Well, a team really, even with us, as much freight as we got, it's hard for a team to outdrive themselves out of hours. When I say outdrive yourself out of hours, when one is on a break, the other one is driving. Then by the time you get where you're going and unload, it's money, money, money. Let me say this to you. The trainers, and I'm hot on these trainers because that's what I've been doing the last couple of weeks. The trainers, Mike, say for instance you was driving, I'm talking to both Mike, if you was driving, and then so your wife, she's been working, now she's retired. Okay, she goes to the school. Quite naturally, you're going to train her, she's your wife. Well, when you train her, you're going to be getting paid. We pay the trainer. Our trainers make anywhere from $500 to $600 a week.
Oh man!
And let me tell you something. Some of these schools are paying, and some of these companies are paying the trainer $400, $300 a week. A man can't make a living off that. He just, you shouldn't be punished because you're trying to take on a new career.
Yeah, exactly.
You shouldn't be punished for that. And what we try to do is let you take on a new career, but pay you.
Yeah.
The driver's going to get paid. At the end of the day, it's all about the dollar.
He's horse daddy, and he's got $1,000 to give to you today to go to work with Wiley Sanders Truck Lines in Troy, Alabama. And of course, your telephone number, how easy is it?
It's real easy, 334-372-5049. Or either call Wiley Sanders Truck Line and ask to speak to Brandon or anybody down there. Let me tell you this. Make that call today.
Exactly right. And you've got to, and of course,
Hall say what happened to Boston against Cleveland, man?
I think I owe you. I can't believe you got swept. Can you believe that?
Just take Dad out to breakfast one day.
Okay, I'll do that. Hey, I'm gonna tell you something, man. When you go out with your daddy, you get a lot of more people be stopping you and stuff. I like hanging out with Mike. I'll tell you.
I like hanging out with Hoss Daddy too, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, let me tell you, you've got a little business over there on Montgomery Street, and I see more and more just cars. How do y'all get?
Let me tell you about
Y'all
that.
are busy.
I don't usually talk about it, but I got to say this. God gives you what you ask for, and a guy asked me about cleaning a boat.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I don't know. I said, I guess we can.
Yeah.
We cleaned one boat. And I guess we in the boat business because we've got
Well,
people
everybody
bringing,
doesn't clean a boat.
and we got people bringing boats. So
Yeah.
I won't say, hey, we clean boats.
Yeah.
But
Well,
before I leave here, I got to tell you one more time. Talk to us about this Prudential.
Sure.
It is a great package. I'm learning it as we go. But anytime the government gives you something, you need to take it. And we went out and hired a special provider to do this. You don't have to do nothing.
Yeah.
All you got to do is just keep your logs in.
Sure.
And they gonna all. We got paperless logs. Did I ever tell you that? We got paperless logs. That computer does.
And one other last thing. How many truck lines offer a 401k?
With 4%.
Where a company is matching what you put in
4%.
at 4%.
Now, of your gross pay.
And that's gross.
That's
You're
gross.
exactly right. That's coming off the top before the taxes.
And I'm gonna tell you something. I can say these things because I'm part of it. I've seen a tremendous difference in mine since they have started doing that.
Exactly.
Tremendous.
And doesn't that
difference.
make you feel good to know that you're building a future there? That one day you can say, "Well, I can retire."
You know, and that's what I always say about you. You bring up some great points. You think about it, a young man, 25, 26, and he gets out there and he start working. You're making $1,000 a week, and they taking 4% of that.
Yeah, exactly. When I
The
was
numbers
growing
are
up-
not hard to figure.
When
The
I was
numbers are
growing,
not
I'll
hard to
tell you a
figure.
quick story. When I was growing up, I spent a lot of my time on Orange Street playing ball with my friends Kerry Green and Sonny Williford and Charles Ingram and David and Perry and Dewey and Manley Johnson, all of them. You know, we grew up playing. And there was a truck parked right down the street from where, I mean, probably you could throw a rock and hit it, and we might have a few times. But that truck was parked right there in front of that house there, and that house belonged to Mr. Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
And Wiley's dad, and that's where Wiley lived, and he had a truck, and he drove that truck, and he learned how to drive that truck, and he started driving for companies, and then he started representing other companies and driving more for companies. For long, he owned the company, and now has over 1,500 trucks.
Well,
probably.
look at this. Think about this, and think about Troy, what that company has did to our town.
Oh, no question.
Think about the people we employ, and I'm gonna tell you something. We buy locally,
Yeah,
and Trojan Detail does too. I buy my chemicals and stuff
Sure.
from right here in my town.
exactly.
When I need something, I go get it. I tell my guys, I bought a vacuum cleaner last week, and guys said, well, they got one in Montgomery for $99. I said, well, let's just get it in Troy. Let's just get it
Well,
in
I'll
Troy.
tell you this, you're exactly right. The Sanders companies have done wonders for our community, and we appreciate them very much. And they do it with quality too. It's not you deal with anything belonging to Wiley Sanders and his companies. It's going to be first class.
Yes,
It's going
right.
to look first class. It's going to be first class. And I said that up front that you're going to see a beautiful vehicle, and that's where pride comes.
That's where pride. It's like, look at the show we on. We on a first class show.
I mean, exactly
We're
right.
here with you,
And
first class.
And I'm not going to drive a vehicle that doesn't look like it's ready to go public, and that's exactly what it does. There's a bunch of them out there, and when you see Wiley Sanders, Troy, Alabama, he's representing us.
He is. Mike, is always good to come see you. Looking forward to going to Julie's for dinner, but
Oh man, love to, man.
I got
my
a guy's
friend.
gonna call me this morning, and I got to see him. He called
If it don't
yesterday.
say Hoss Daddy, believe you me, you don't want it. Of course,
Wiley
Jefferson,
Sanders truck
and
line.
Wiley Sanders truck lines, and they've got what? 1,000.
1,000 if you retired military. 1,000 plus 2.
And that's something fantastic. We'll be back with more of Today in L.A. right after this. Thank you, Hoss Daddy.
Thank you.
At the Piggly Wiggly, we proudly support our local farmers and bring you the best they have to offer, all at cost plus 10%. When you shop local, you reinvest in your community. Remember, buy local, shop local. Piggly Wiggly, local since forever.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation under God, indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Here at Town & Country, we are proud to be an American.
We've had you covered on the inside since 2005, and with our addition of Southern Grill and Patio, we now have you covered on the outside. Come see our great selection, where we make sure grilling and relaxing go hand in hand.
Life is hectic enough without worrying if your lights will stay on or if there's hot water for your child's bath. So count on natural gas to keep the energy flowing, even when the weather is unpredictable. Natural gas is always there to keep your home warm, showers hot, and food cooked to perfection. That's why America has relied on safe and affordable natural gas for more than 150 years. And we will be here for you and future generations too. You can count on natural gas from Southeast Alabama Gas District.
Come see us at Don Walker Western Wear. From boots, jeans, and jackets to shirts, hats, and belts, we're your headquarters for Western wear for the entire family. With the largest selection of jeans in town, we carry famous brands like Wrangler, Levi, Carhartt, Ariat, and Cinch. We've also got plenty of styles of boots to choose from, including Justin, Lucchese, Ariat, Tony Lama, Red Wing, Dan Post, and Corral. So come on in to Don Walker Western Wear, located on Highway 231 in Troy.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our...
Back to our show, ladies and gentlemen, and I appreciate Hoss Daddy, my good friend Jeffrey Bennett, coming on our show. Does he represent that company well? I tell you what, he really does, and now he is just a figure of a person that has been with a company for a long time and takes a lot of pride in supporting that company and going out and speaking to the public about a great truck line, Sanders Truck Lines of Troy, Alabama. And again, first quality people, first quality trucking company you'll find at Sanders right here in Troy. Of course, I want to mention our good friends at Dixieland Dental, located 9 miles north of Dothan on Highway 231. I want to say good morning to Dr. Michael Precise, and he had his Ozark what we call the Wiregrass Cardinals were playing in Troy last night, and man, have we had baseball in Troy all summer long, and a huge tournament this past weekend just finished up last night. I didn't get a final score on it, but Post 70 out of Troy was playing Ozark last night, and if anybody has that score, I'd like to find out about it. Of course, orientation, you folks here for orientation, we for your representing your student that will be going and starting at Troy University this fall. The orientation is a requirement where their parents come and see what's in store for their son or daughter when school starts, and it's a great opportunity to sort of feel like you're going back to school. So this morning it starts at 9 o'clock from the Stadium Club at Troy University, and I like to go over and see those folks. And there'll be hundreds of parents there, and of course it's an exciting time for them and probably a sad time at the same time, because their little Johnny or their little Mary, they're going off to college. But remember one thing, and one thing well, that pocketbook, as long as you've got it, you won't. You'll see plenty of them, I promise you, when college starts. You know, some people tell me that they felt like when their son and daughter graduated from college, they got a big increase in salary. Well, surely they do. But I'll say this right now: if there's some of you out there saying, "Well, gosh, college tuition has gotten to be very, very expensive," and of course it's expensive everywhere, not just at Troy, but anywhere. But remember this: more than anything, it's your responsibility to provide an opportunity for that child to go to college, either a university or junior college or even to learn a trade, like be an electrician, or there are a lot of opportunities out there for you. But again, if you worry about the fact that you're paying a lot of money, remember it is, if your child is going and seriously wants to get a degree and work hard in college and get a degree, it's your responsibility to help him provide him that opportunity. And of course, again, whether he goes in the military or whether he goes and studies a trade or where he goes through college, 4 years of college or 4 more years of extra college, like if he's going to medical school or studying to be an attorney or whatever his goal is, help him reach that goal. And I guarantee you, every a day of his life, he'll remember what you did for him and appreciate everything that you were able to provide for him during that time of his life. It can be the most wonderful time of a young person's life to go to college, but it's also a responsibility to go to college and study and be serious about your degree. And because your parents have spent a lot of hard-earned money to provide that education for you. So remember, you've got an obligation to also do as well as you possibly can in college and make use of all that hard-earned money that your parents have provided for you to go to college. So again, good luck to you, and you parents out there, congratulations. You got this is one of the big steps in your child's life, and Troy University is a great place for them to go to college, and we appreciate it. Jim Skinner Honda in Dothan has got a big sale going on right now on the Circle in downtown Dothan, or actually on the outskirts of downtown Dothan. You get to the Circle in Dothan and take a left, and it's less than a mile on the left. It's called Jim Skinner Honda right here in Dothan. Want to mention Troy Bank and Trust, the only bank you'll ever need. Here we go. There is 3 locations in Troy. There is 1 location in Brundage, 1 location in Arrington, 1 location in Dothan, 1 location in Enterprise, in Elba, in New Brockton, in Goshen, in Auburn, and in Dothan. I think I said Dothan. Ladies and gentlemen, Troy Bank and Trust Company, the only bank you'll ever need. Sister's Restaurant, and they're open, and you folks here for orientation, I recommend Sisters while you're here. Delicious place to eat. Of course, there are buffets on Wednesday through Friday, and also again on Sunday, and the food is delicious at Sisters Restaurant. I also want to mention Bill Jackson Chevrolet on the bypass right here in Troy, and of course Jim Jackson will be a part of our big scoreboard show this fall, and it's be here before you know it. And we appreciate Jim and his support, not only of our local schools and university, but Chevrolet, ladies and gentlemen, and he's got them all of the Chevrolet products, or General Motors products, are located right here in Troy, Alabama. I want to mention also Piggly Wiggly. And of course, my good friend Steve Garrett has stores on North 39th Street in Troy, and also in the located on the bypass. I want to mention Trojan Auto Parts and my good friend Mike Kilcrease. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the cleanest, nicest parts places you'll go in anywhere. Some of the things he provides. Let's say you woke up this morning and your battery was out, and you didn't know what to do. What I do I jump this thing off? Where do I take it once I jump it off? Well, once you get that battery's not charging, and you go ahead and you jump it off, with somebody allowing you to jump their vehicle off, and then you go to Trojan Auto Parts, and they will not only replace that battery for you, they'll check all your other, like your windshield wipers. I always get my windshield wipers from Trojan Auto Parts, because they'll put it in for me. I'll buy it and they'll put it in for me, and that battery will be a first-class battery, and they'll put it in there for you. It makes it awfully convenient, and of course they're great people, and we appreciate them very much. Want to mention, of course, Kevin Now won the golf tournament this week, and it's only the second time ever that he had won a tournament on the PGA Tour, but he did it in fine fashion. He shot a 60, I want to say it was a 63 to win that tournament, which was awesome. Other people in that thing, Bubba Watson was a contender going into the last day, but Bubba dropped off quite a bit after shooting a 72. But of course, Bubba Watson started with a 68, then he shot a 66, 65, and finished with a 72. Kevin Na shot a 64 yesterday to win the tournament. He shot 69, 63, 65, 64. I can tell you shoot those scores, you deserve to win a golf tournament. Kelly Craft, Na won $1.3 million. Kelly Craft won $780,000. So pretty good day's work for second place. Brad Snedeker finished in fourth with $423,000. So, and a lot of these guys I've never even heard of. I didn't know much about Kelly Craft or Jay Corcrack or whatever his name is. I knew Snedeker. A. Cook, never heard of him. Joel Damon, hadn't heard of him much. Jay Neiman, never heard of him. These are the top 10 of that golf tournament. Sanders, whoever he is, never heard of him. H. Marner III, just heard of him this week, and all of that was the top 10, and I've heard of about 3 of them. A lot of people were wondering how Phil Mickelson did. Well, he shot a 74 in the last round, and he took home a measly $15,000, but he's done well playing golf. In his career, Phil Mickelson had won $87.5 million, or $87,500,000. Phil Mickelson had won on the PGA Golf Tour. The leader, of course, is Tiger Woods with $111 million plus. So he's the top money winner of all time. Vijay Singh placed third, and that surprised me. He won $70 million playing golf. Jim Furyk, and how many times you reckon somebody told Jim Furyk, said, "Son, you'll never make it with that swing. That's the craziest looking swing. You'll never make it. You'll never make it." Well, he's the 4th leading money winner in the history of golf, with $68 million in earnings. Dustin Johnson ranks 5th with $53 million. Ernie Els, been around a while, ranks number 6 with a $49 million. Sergio, everybody said, "Sergio, what are you doing?" That's what Sergio did for a long time. Finally, somebody told him, said, "Sergio, you don't have to do that. If you'll stop doing that, you're going to win some golf tournaments." Well, he hasn't won a lot of golf tournaments, but he's won a lot of money. He's won right at $50 million in his career. Adam Scott from Australia had won $47 million, and Justin Rose had won $46 million, and Davis Love III. Now, you look at all the all-time great golfers out there, American golfers, and Davis Love is from over in West Georgia, Sea Island, Georgia. He's got a little nice little house on the ocean there, and he plays golf out of there, and he ranks number 10 overall in money winnings for a career, and he's won $45 million. But now let's look at something. Looking at American golfers that have won them. Of course, Tiger's American. Mickelson's American, Furyk's American, Dustin Johnson's American, but and then Davis Love's American. So 5 of those top 10 are American. And then the rest, Vijay Singh, Ernie Els, Sergio Garcia, Adam Scott, and Justin Rose are all from another country. And of course, Scott and let's see, Scott came out of Australia. Sergio came out of Spain. Ernie Els came out of South Africa. Justin Rose came out of London, Great Britain. And let's see if we got another one here. Vijay Singh, I want to say came out of India. I'm not sure exactly. But those are the top 10 money winners of all time. Steve Stricker, the nice guy, who will be playing in his tournament this week, the John Deere tournament. Steve Stricker, another guy, laid-back golfer that you say, well, you know, he doesn't win a lot of tournaments, but he wins a lot of money. And Steve Stricker had won $44 million in his career. His good buddy Zach Johnson is one step above in 11th overall. Zach Johnson, just laid back, good, steady golfer, has won $44 million. So most of the real huge money winners are guys that have not won that many tournaments, but they've just placed in the top 20 every week. And that money, and here's a couple others that'll surprise you. Matt Kuchar, you know, of course from Atlanta and played at Georgia Tech. Kuchar, in his very quiet way, has won $43 million, and he's 13th on the list. Jason Day out of Australia, of course, he's a great guy for $42 million. David Toms, who would have ever thought that David Toms, and he's one of my favorite golfers, would have won? Well, let's look at it. David Toms has won $42 million in his career, ranked 15th overall. How do you rank a golfer? Who's the best in the world? Well, you know, to me, I think how much money he's won on the tour would rank him pretty good with me. But I'm sure, you know, you would have golfers like some of the old golfers like Sam Snead. The lowest paid golfer of all time probably would have made more money than Sam Snead because they didn't pay a lot of money back then. Jack Nicklaus, let's see if they've even got him ranked in the top 35. Jack Nicklaus. Of course, let's go down from David Toms. You had Bubba Watson, 16th. Bubba's already won $42 million. Rory McIlroy has already won $39 million. Jordan Spieth, how old is he? He's not very old, but he's already won $37 million in a short time. And Stuart Sink out of Florence, Alabama, he's another one that I've mentioned so many times. He always finishes in the money. And I didn't look to see how he finished this week, but he always finishes in the money, and he's won $37 million in his career. Luke Donald out of Great Britain has won $36 million. Charles Howell III, who would have thought that Charles Howell III, how many tournaments he won? I don't even know if he even won one, maybe one or two. $35 million, because every week he's in the money. He's in the top 20 of the money list every week. So it's not exactly how many tournaments you win, it's how you play every week. And that's amazing to me. Justin Leonard's another one. Very quietly has won $34 million in his career. Brad Snedeker, who plays second this week, can add to his. He's won $35 million. KJ Choi, how about him? He hadn't won any many tournaments, but he's won $32 million overall. Retief Goosen has won $31 million. And Kenny Perry, one of my favorites and an older guy, Kenny Perry won $32 million in his pro career. Ricky Fowler is another one of my favorites. He's won $33 million. And it goes on and on. but I was trying to find where Nicholas and some of those guys like that landed in this, and gosh, Jason Duffner from Auburn, Alabama, just a old young golfer out of Auburn University. Not anybody to get excited about. He's won $26 million in his career, and he hadn't been out there that long. That's amazing. Looking at Jimmy Walker, he's won $25 million. Mark Calvecchia, who would have thought that Mark Calvecchia would have won $24 million in his career? Then we're moving on down to Fred Couples, ranked. You would think Fred Couples would be one of the top 20 or 25 players in America all times. Well, he, as far as winning money, he ranks 54th all time with $23 million. So that'll tell you a little bit there. But, you know, everybody, of course, he's a great player, but he, as far as rankings, as far as the money, just 54th all time. Fred Funk, the old college coach at Illinois. One day a guy said, "Fred, you're a pretty solid golfer. Why don't you try out for the tour?" He said, "Oh, no, I can't. I'm not that good a golfer." He said, "Well, you don't have to win a bunch of golf tournaments. Just place. You know, it's a great living to make $3,000 or $4,000 a week." Well, Fred Funk has won $21 million since he's been playing professional golf. Good morning. You're on Today in L.A. How you doing?
Just calling back in.
Mike Amos. Mike, I've had fun with this all-time money list of golfers, and it's amazing. The ones that you would think, you know, would not be considered one of the great. Would you consider David Toms as one of the greatest golfers of all time?
No, I mean, he just won a U.S. Open, senior U.S. Open. You know, he's on the senior tour now, but he's won a lot of money. There's a lot of surprising names like Stuart Appleby. He's like playing on the web.com tour now. He's won several millions.
Well,
dollars,
you know, David Toms has won 43 million now. He's won $43 million, and he's the 15th ranked money winner on the tour. Heck, who would put him in the top 15 of the best golfers in history? Who would put him there?
Well, I mean, it's just money. It was just so much different from when you played, you know, back in the day. From, of course, Bobby Jones to Ben Hogan to Sam Snead to Nicholas to Palmer to Player, you know, all those.
Of course, Bubba is right behind him, and I'm sure Bubba probably has gone ahead of him now, but Bubba's won.
Yeah, the big news in golf is they're going to have a primetime match between Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson for $10 million.
Oh, man, when is that going to be?
I mean, apparently it's agreed to. It's just they got to set the date and get the television ready, but they're playing for $10 million.
Well, I would sure watch it.
Really soon on primetime TV.
Wouldn't you watch it? That'd be some good golf.
Well, I mean, of course, you know, this isn't them in their primes. In their primes, I can't imagine the ratings and the views. But anytime you got Tiger and Phil, you're going to have pretty huge ratings. So
I want to mention
$10 million to them is not that much, but you know, it's still a lot of. It's still, you know, it's like winning the FedEx Cup. The FedEx
Coffee.
You win FedEx Cup, you win $10 million.
Yeah. Want to mention also, ladies and gentlemen, my good friends at Country Financial and Melissa and all the great folks, Melissa Parrish in downtown Troy, and you're looking for to get a quote on your automobile or your homeowners or your business insurance, commercial insurance. Let me tell you, she's got a great price out there for you, and it's an outstanding nationwide company, Country Financial, and just give her a chance to quote, and you'll be surprised at the money you can save by going through Country Financial on the square in downtown Troy.
I can say happy birthday to my mom, Carol Amos, today.
Gosh, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday, Carol Amos. Wake up, it's your birthday.
Also, I was reading this, Troy basketball, there's not a whole lot of information about this, but they got a huge player coming in that transferred in from Middle Tennessee State. Of course, Middle Tennessee State's had a great basketball program the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And his name's Devon Thomas. He's 6'9", and will be transferring in to play basketball at Troy. I don't know if he can play immediately, if he's already graduated or what. But anytime you can get a guy 6'9" to come into your program, that's a good thing.
You know, I usually have his number. It would tickle me. I might still have it in my pocket here. But Coach, I tell you what, their staff is sharp. You know, you talk to their guys, and they're sharp people, and I could see them being able to recruit most anybody out there. And Coach Cunningham needed a big man, Mike, and hopefully this could be a turnaround type player.
Yeah, I think he's originally from Columbus, Georgia, so it would make sense. I mean, Troy would be a lot closer than Murfreesboro.
Exactly right. Well,
have you recovered from your trip? Are you back?
Yeah,
back on Central Time again, Eastern Time. You're on Eastern Time for almost a week.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit. First of all, the mountains. I spent a week in Gatlinburg and had real good accommodations. Real nice room and plenty of room, and I was right downtown. You know, gosh, I could walk.
You're right in the heart of Gatlinburg.
There's no question about it. And of course, I went to several nice places, and of course, I went to Dollywood, or Dollywood, and enjoyed that, and rode some rides, and I was there at a good time. It was late afternoon and right after the rain, and saw a couple of good shows, and ate well, Mike. I ate real well. I ate at the Cherokee Grill one night. You ate there with me, which I thought was outstanding.
Yeah, it was excellent. Right next to Calhoun's barbecue.
Yes.
We're actually trying to go to Calhoun's, and I was like, well, let me go check out this menu, and went in and had a great steak, and you had one of the best pork chops I've ever had in my life.
Oh, man, it was really good, and it's a nice restaurant located right next to Calhoun's. Calhoun's, I ate there one day, Mike, and they bring me out. I ordered a whole slab, and and they bring it out, and they got a whole slab sitting in front of me, and I asked her, I said, aren't you going to cut it? You know, it was just the whole slab. And she said no, and then after I cut into it, I understood why, because the meat just falls off the bone, and before long, all I had was a plate full of bones.
Yeah.
But it was real good. Calhoun's is a famous barbecue place.
I've not been to Gatlinburg since I was a kid, with probably First Baptist Church of Troy, and it has changed a lot. It is a huge place compared to what I remember when I was a little kid, and
you know, I wonder how many rooms.
It might have been just been 4th of July weekend, but that was, I mean, I would say the streets of Gatlinburg probably had at least 5,000 to 7,000 people a day walking up and down.
Oh, yeah, at least that much. And they had a big 4th of July parade that I missed, but I'm not going to get into it. But let me tell you something real unique. It was a big parade in downtown Gatlinburg, and it started at 12:01 midnight. 12:01.
Yeah, the first parade of the year for Independence Day.
Independence Parade, and let me tell you what they did. So here it is, 12:01, and so you had to wait till 12:01 for the parade to start. Well, around noon, around before noon, or maybe even earlier than that, people started bringing their folding chairs down, and most of them were still in the tube that they come in, you know. And they would place the chair just oblong in front of the street, right on the street curb.
Oh, really? They would just leave it there?
They would leave it there.
There
would
be
thousands of chairs. Now listen, there would be thousands of those tube chairs that are still in their holder. They would put it down there. Some of them they went ahead and opened them up, and they would stick them there. But they would leave those chairs there, and all the way up and down that street for miles, you saw this colorful look of these chairs that are still in their holder on the side of the street. I thought it was unique because once the people got there, they went back. Those seats stayed there for hours and hours and hours. And about 11 o'clock, they come back and they would take the seats and unfold them and sit down, and they were ready for the parade. But I've never seen it like that. Now, they probably do it at the Rose Bowl and places like that, those huge parades like that, or the New Year's Macy's Thanksgiving Day parades. I don't know if they do that like that, but I thought it was real unique. How about the homecoming parade in Troy? Could you do that and get away with? Could you do that in Troy and your chair be ready when you got back?
I think you probably could in Troy.
Mike, let me put you on hold a second. I'll put you on hold 1 minute. If I can find my, you stay with me now.
All right.
Mike Amos gonna put him on hold. We're gonna go to that. Good morning. How you doing?
Hey, Mike. Will Matthews.
Will Matthews, won't you please come home? Will, I got into this thing about all-time money winners. Let's bring Mike Amos in here, Will, too. Hold on 1 second. All right, I got to put you on hold here. All right, here we go. Will, you still on?
Yes, sir.
All right, let me get Mike on here. All right, here we go. Are you still on?
Yes, sir.
Will, you on too, aren't you?
I am, yes.
Will Matthews is on calling in from Dothan or Ozark this morning?
I'm in Dothan. I'm actually in court in Dothan today.
Well, you told me you fibbed on me a little bit. You told me you were going to be in Panama City all week, and we saw you on Facebook in Mississippi. What did you do?
Well, that was the weekend before.
Oh, it was? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Did you have a good time in the Yellow House?
I did. We spent the whole week. I had my 3 kids and their wives and husbands and 3 dogs. And
now, I was very interested in that lady showing her stomach off. Now, who was that?
That was my daughter-in-law. She's going on vacation.
Is she? Now, which one is she now?
She's the one married to David that works for the president.
Yeah, works for the president, and I liked her bathing suit.
So did she work for the president too? Is that how they met?
No, they met. Actually, he was running Trump's campaign in Pittsburgh, and she showed up to his office to volunteer.
Uh-huh.
And they met and started seeing each other, and then they got married last November, and she must have got pregnant within 3 or 4 weeks of the marriage.
Will Matthews calling in from Ozark this morning, or Dothan this morning, where he's got the Matthews Law Firm is busy at work. Will, we've turned the corner. July the 4th is over, and now all these coaching staffs start getting back to the drawing boards and start getting ready for the coming season. It's not long.
I think it's 6 more weeks, something like that.
Maybe so Will you watch Tiger Woods against Phil Mickelson in prime time for $10 million?
You're right. I can't wait.
I can see Phil choking up, though. I can see Phil just choking up.
Well, I mean, it's for $10 million, winner take all, so it's going to be a lot of pressure.
That's a lot of money.
That's right. Who do you think would handle that better, Tiger or Phil?
Oh, I think Tiger is going to beat him, yeah.
Tiger's won 111. They're the top 2 money winners of all time. Tiger's won over 111 million, and Phil's won over 87 million.
Yeah.
Did it surprise you that B.J. Singh was ranked 3rd all time in money winnings?
Not really, because he was for about 7-8 years. He was right there with them.
Yeah, B.J. Singh won over 30 tournaments.
And he's a smooth golfer. I know that. But the biggest surprise of them all, the 4th winningest golfer of all time, is a guy with the worst swing of all time, and that is Jim Furyk. Can you believe it, Will?
I think he's got a great swing.
He's won $70 million in his career.
I'll tell you why he's got a great swing. He swings at it the same way every time, and that's.
But how do you do that with a swing like that? How do you do that?
Trevino had a horrible swing. Look what he did.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the swing; it's getting it in the hole.
And I hadn't even seen how much money he's won, but.
Well, you got to look at when these guys played. The money's just so much different. Yeah. We talked about this the other day.
You're talking about great players now. Who would think that Jason Duffner would have already won over $26 million. Jason Duffner from Auburn, Alabama. But at the same time, the 54th, the number 54 on the list was Fred Couples with $23 million. So Fred Couples, you would think, was a top 25 all-time golfer, wouldn't you think?
I don't know. He's only won one major.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's won some Players Championships, but he never won too many majors.
I'll tell you a guy that's career.
Will at the beach, Thomas's Donuts, where the line's about 20 deep every day.
Never seen anything like it. They've opened up 5 lines for donuts now.
Yeah. And do you know they have shut that place down early though? I think they closed at something like 7 o'clock now.
Well, they probably
The donuts is closed.
Well, they got the place next door now too that does ice cream and donuts too, don't they?
I mean, let me tell you, it's a gold mine. I mean, and he's the mayor of Panama City Beach.
That's right, Mike Thomas.
Yeah, and it's a gold mine, and the uncle can't keep up with how many ice creams and how many donuts have come out of that place.
Well, his son runs the donut place.
I know that. Yeah.
Yeah, they can't. I could run that place. All you do is open the door and close.
Oh, I know it. It's amazing. I live right almost. I can throw a rock and hit it. And there's a guy there starting at 12 o'clock, or maybe even earlier than that. And all he does is bake donuts until about 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way it's always been. Since we were little kids, we'd see them in there late at night.
Well, of course, we're talking golf this morning, and of course, Will comes from a golf background, and of course, you play a lot in Dothan. Somebody told me that the Dothan Country Club, when you've got the big golf tournament there that they have every summer, the Future Masters, this is one of the nicest golf courses in America. Is that true? Will. Hello.
You might have lost Will.
I might have lost Will. But, of course, Dothan Country Club hosted the, and here he comes back again. And I might have to put you on hold, Mike, and get him in here. Do we lose you, Will?
Yeah, I'm back.
I've got to get Michael back, though, but let me put you on hold. All right, let's see here. Are you on? Will, you on now?
Yes.
Let me get Michael on and we'll be ready. I think I got you. I got both of you now? Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. You were talking about Dothan Country Club when I lost you.
Yeah, we're talking about, somebody told me that during the Future Masters, it's in about as good a shape as any golf course anywhere. Is that true?
It's beautiful. I played there Friday and Saturday. It's unbelievable.
I mean, say the fairways are about as plush as you'll ever see them.
Yep.
They put so the city of Dothan. Do they put any money into that tournament because it attracts a lot of people and it enhances their tax base?
I know. I think they just take. They don't put in.
Well,
there's no telling how much money the 800 kids plays parents and grandparents spend when they come to Dothan. Yeah. Hotel rooms.
Oh, what I'm saying, it's a huge thing for the city of Dothan. You would think that the city of Dothan would help the Dothan Country Club incur some of that cost.
Well, it makes money.
Well, and of course, how good a golf course is that? It's not a long golf course. Compare it with the Montgomery Country Club. Montgomery Country Club, pretty good golf course.
Yeah, it's almost identical to Montgomery Country Club. It's an old course. It's landlocked like Montgomery Country Club. You can't really add any distance to it.
Now, you know, a guy that hits it a long ways has a real advantage. Is that right?
No. Guy hits it a long ways has a disadvantage on that golf course. You need to hit it straight on that course.
All right. But you know, some of them are just 400 yards long, 390 or something. Isn't that right?
Right. But if you don't hit the fairway, you got a problem.
Yeah. Of course, golf is in full swing, and locally.
You got the British Open coming up here in 2 weeks. I know a lot of guys will go over and play the Scottish Open. Yesterday at the Greenbrier, you had Kevin Na win. Na's won probably 3 or 4 times now.
Now he is actually from. He's born in the United States, though. I mean, he's American.
Yeah. He's an American player.
But he got real emotional. But he's a solid golfer.
He's a good golfer. Yeah.
Have you ever been to the Greenbrier, Will? Have you ever walked in there?
Absolutely. I went on my honeymoon at the Greenbrier.
Oh, did you really? Did you really? Well, you know, I hear that Mickelson's got a big spread at up there. Is that right?
So does Bubba Watson and Nick Faldo.
It's grown tremendously since I went there back in '82.
Yeah.
But
now it's in the mountains of West Virginia, isn't it?
It's in the middle of nowhere. It's hard to find, really.
Well, isn't that also where the president's retreat is? What do you call it?
No. Now you're thinking about Camp David.
Yeah, where is Camp David located?
But you know, the presidents did go there. There's like a secret, building, like underground at the Greenbrier. I watched a documentary on it.
Really?
Yeah. Actually, the plans were if a nuclear attack ever came, they had room for all the Congress and the president and all of them to stay there.
Oh yeah. Well,
underground.
That's something.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Of course, it is one of the great places in America. I bet it's extremely expensive, though, isn't it?
Well, let me tell you about Carnoustie next week.
All right.
When I was in college in 1975, I played in a college tournament over there. There were 8 American teams and 4 teams from Scotland playing in it. And anyway, we played Carnoustie, the Old Course, and 2 more. The day we played Carnoustie, the wind blew 40 miles an hour.
Oh, man.
Golly.
Well, I know this. Over the British Open, they're wearing sweaters and.
So what'd you shoot on that day?
I shot a 74, and I was the only player to break 80 that day.
Oh, man.
I was about to say, I figured you were going to tell me you shot in the 80s.
No, and I'll tell you how I did it. I went in the pro shop before we started, and I bought a sleeve of British balls that were smaller than American balls. And back then, you could change balls every hole. So when I played into the wind, I played the British ball, and when I played downwind, I played a Titleist. And it was amazing, and I just took a 1-iron. I carried a 1-iron back then and hit it on every hole. I never hit a wood.
Man, not many people can hit a 1-iron. Is that right?
Well, I mean, I could back when I was young, but I hit the 1-iron every hole. I think I used my driver twice, maybe, and that was a downwind shot.
So you actually did you go to any of the pot bunkers?
No, I never hit it in a bunker. And over there, if you hit it in a bunker, it's an automatic 1-stroke penalty. All you do is take a.
All right, are you saying that this is going to be real tough venue?
This will be diabolically tough. If the wind blows, you might see 5, 6 over par win the tournament.
Let me ask you this, Will. What's happened to Jordan Spieth? But now I'm looking here.
He got engaged. That's what happened.
I know a woman has changed his golf game, but he still has won $38 million, and McIlroy's right ahead of him. It's easy to tell who are the best golfers out there by these winnings. Here the 16, 17, 18, and 16, 17, 18 with Bubba Watson, Rory McIlroy, and Jordan Spieth as far as overall winning. You know, Bubba has already won $42 million in his career, and which is more than anybody else that's playing right now.
Mike, just remember this now. Spieth is the defending champion, so his game hadn't gone totally away.
Yeah. Hey, you know, some of these guys like Charles Howell III. How in the world can Charles Howell III be the 21st winningest golfer of all time?
Because he's been out there 20 years.
Yeah, it's called longevity.
Yeah, maybe so. Snedeker, your guy, since he cut his hair, You notice your guy cut his hair. Let me tell you what I did on the way back from Virginia. We were riding through Chattanooga, and I told my wife, I said, let's go by and see where my son-in-law went to school. He talks a lot about McCallie, which is a private school for boys. They got Baylor Prep and McCallie. You familiar with those two?
Absolutely. Bob Jones IV went to Baylor.
Well, all right. Now McCallie, oh man, it looked like a college. I mean, it was huge, and I was just extremely impressed with everything about it. It was old, but my son-in-law spent 4 years there. And they board students. Those students there at McCallie and Baylor, they board students. I reckon the most popular or most famous McCallie graduate was your guy over in Atlanta, Ted Turner. And then probably the most notable people that we know that went to Baylor was the Hanna brothers. That's where Hanna sent all of his boys were to Baylor Prep. Did you know that?
Really? I did not know that.
Yeah. And, of course, I didn't see Baylor Prep, but that McCallie was really, really impressive. In Chattanooga, both of them located in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Well, Bob Jones IV went to Baylor.
Did he? Okay, yeah. Okay.
He did.
So, Will, out of those guys you played with that day, how many of those guys ended up being professionals when you played Carnoustie?
Now, Georgia was over there. Chip Beck was playing for Georgia at the time. He had a good professional career.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. There were 4 SEC teams over there. Alabama was over there. Georgia was over there. We were over there. And let me think what the other team was. I think LSU was there.
Yeah. Hey, Will.
Well, you're in college, though, at Vandy. Of course, it's a downtown campus. What was y'all's home course? Where did y'all practice?
We played Belle Meade every day. And that's
how far is that from the Vandy campus?
Maybe 5-6 minutes. I mean, it's nothing. It's out in West End.
Okay.
Yeah. Will, there's a new golfer in Dothan, Mike. I mean, and Will, do you know Lou Mitchell?
Lou Mitchell.
Yeah, Lou Mitchell had moved to Dothan, and he is a fine golfer. Of course, he's out of Eufaula and played basketball at Troy and played on the golf team at Troy. One of the top amateurs in the state is Lou Mitchell. That just moved from Birmingham to Dothan. So look out, Will.
Well, I won't be able to touch him because my golf game is history.
Well, still shooting the mid-70s, don't you?
I had a 78 Friday and a 77 Saturday.
Well, that probably won the money, didn't it?
No, I had 3 double bogeys one day and 2 double bogeys. I have bad holes.
I got you. Talking to Will Matthews with the Matthews Law Firm in Ozark, Alabama. How old is that firm of yours, Will?
62 years.
62 years, and your dad came down from actually was stationed at Fort Rucker. Is that right, during the war or what?
Met my mother during the Korean War. And then when he got out of the Army, they moved to Nashville. He was in law school. And then they moved to Ozark.
Yeah. Of course, was a cheerleader at the University of Tennessee. Did he ever talk about that much?
Oh, yeah. We buried him in his cheerleader outfit.
Did you really? We buried
him in his cheerleader outfit and his robe when he was a judge.
Oh, gosh. That's
I don't know if I ever mentioned to you, Will. My father-in-law, who I've never met, my wife's dad went to Vanderbilt to undergrad and then graduated undergrad and then went to Alabama Law School. So he did the same thing you did, didn't he?
Same thing I did. Yep.
No question about it. Of course,
I was up in Vanderbilt, I don't know, I guess a year and a half ago with my wife. We went up there and we stayed next to the campus. And that Midtown area of Vanderbilt is, there's so many, restaurants and and things to do.
Well, you can stay right there. We stayed at the Marriott, and the Marriott looks out over the football field. You don't even have to have a ticket to the game.
Yeah, that Nashville is just huge now. Man, it's grown so much.
Yeah, it has.
I remember when I was a kid, like when when I go up there in my 20s, it was more like a Birmingham kind of size. But man, it's getting really big.
You know, I was talking about restaurants up in the mountains, Will, and I just got back from the mountains and, of course, Tennessee country, and I ate at the Old Mill. Well, let's see, I reckon it's called the Old Mill, and it was really, really good. And I ate there a couple of times, and I really enjoyed the food. The food was outstanding, at least the places that we went to eat, and really had a good time. Okay, Will, I appreciate you calling this morning, my friend.
Well, y'all watch the golf this coming weekend. It'll be interesting.
Well, what do you mean?
Well, this weekend they got the Scottish
next
Open.
weekend. Next weekend will be you'll see some huge scores probably.
All right. Will this be what kind of? Will it be done by score or hole? How will they do it?
Score.
What score? Just like always.
Well, I don't know. A lot of people that might want to play in college when you went 1-on-1 are
it's not match play.
I know, but what I'm saying, why wouldn't it be match play?
It's a stroke play tournament.
Okay, I got you. So that will be something really good to look forward to. Thank you so much for calling, Will.
All right, see you.
Thank you. Will Matthews calling in from Dothan this morning. We appreciate him. The Messenger, don't live in Troy without it. And, of course, it's been here since 1868. And really an outstanding
man, that really is a long time. 1868. I didn't realize it was that old.
That's right. Of course, orientation today at Troy University. And, boy, Mike, do you know that Troy opens their doors? First class is the 15th of August. We're talking about just a little over a month away, and college starts again.
Yeah, I knew it was coming up pretty soon.
And, of course,
I was telling my wife the other day, this summer seems like it's going by pretty fast.
Big home opener for Troy, Mike. I want to read a little something.
The Boise State Broncos?
Yeah, exactly, the Boise State Broncos. Mike, I wrote an article in the newspaper recently about the Alabama Baptist Children's Home, and I was going to touch on a few things there. You know, back when I was growing up, and the Baptist Children's Home had over 200.
You only got 3 minutes.
I know it had over 200 kids there. Tomorrow, sometime next week, I'm going to read this article. It talked about the old days at the Baptist Children's Home where there were 200 boys and girls on that campus at one time. And, of course, they had the great Bobby Marlowe and Wallace Hogan and some of the great players of all time that came through the old Baptist Children's Home. But what a difference it made to Troy from that being a boys and girls home for kids growing up for years and years, and of course now they're girls sorority houses. But it's amazing how they were able to transition that facility from being a home for girls and boys to making it into sorority houses. It worked just right, didn't it?
Well, I mean, they already had the room.
I know it.
And
they didn't have to build the building.
The kitchen, and all that was there. I mean, it was a perfect fit, really.
It really turned out to be perfect.
I mean, the sororities, I'm sure, paid to have them remodeled and fixed up a little bit. But other than that, it was good for the university. Yeah. They needed sorority houses, and
exactly.
They had fraternity houses, but didn't have sorority houses. They had a sorority hall. When I was in college, was at Pace.
I don't mean to keep hitting on this, ladies and gentlemen, but I just saw a name on this list of all-time money winners in golf. Who in the world would have thought that Jonathan Byrd would have won $19 million in his golf career?
Jonathan he just got back on the tour. He was on the Web.com tour last
year. All right, and Freddie Jacobson. I've never heard of Freddie Jacobson. Had won right at $18 million. John Rollins, who would have thought he'd won $18 million? David Duval, now, of course, his golf career was cut short. He had won $19 million. But it's just amazing, some of these golfers. And, of course, Camilo Villegas, the big University of Florida golfer who, gets down on one hand and looks at putts, he hadn't won a lot of tournaments, but he had won $20 million in his career. So
yeah, we need to pick a conference this week and start getting ready for football now.
Oh yeah, no question.
We
will.
Over to a different conference each week and kind of figure out who we think is going to win each conference.
Exactly. All right, let me go back just a few things to talk about. You and I did the Troy schedule the other day. The more I look at the Troy schedule, if they go 8-4, I think that'd be a good year.
Oh yeah, well that's what I think.
Because I don't see it's going to be hard to go to Appalachian State and win.
Hard to go to Georgia Southern and win.
It's going to be hard to go to Georgia, especially late in the year when they get their program, going back again. And then of course Nebraska, to go to Nebraska and win. That's 3 there.
Win against Boise State at home is going to be.
And then the win against Boise State at home. I mean, realistically, if they go 8-4, I think it'd be a heck of a or 9-4, including the bowl game.
The bowl, yeah.
So
we'll see what happens.
You're exactly right. It's going to be a lot of fun. And of course, I'm looking
I'll
forward to it. Thank you so much for calling. Mike Amos calling in from Birmingham. Hope you've enjoyed our show today. We're going to run it back again today at 1:30. And we appreciate our sponsors so much. And we want to thank you for watching our show each morning. We'll be back bright and early in the morning, 7 o'clock, for Today in L.A. See you then.